Hello, I'm Bill Horner, and I'm the Operations Manager for Alpha Fraternity Management. I wanted to take just a few minutes and share with you one of the great benefits of being an Alpha client that we allow our members to have access to, called Owner Web Access, or better known as OWA. This system allows you to have access to your home's financials, potentially service work orders if you have us doing maintenance and repair, and several other great features at your fingertips 24/7. So I'm going to go through some of the highlights and share that with you so you can begin taking advantage of this great benefit that we offer to our Alpha clients. And here. So to start off with, you'll get a link that'll allow you to create your password. The user ID is use your email. You'll go through that little simple process. And you will now be entered into your Owner Web Access, or OWA. Now for this webinar, I do have information in here just to create so you can see the effect and how the system works in our different programs. The information that's being shared is not real and entered again just for learning purposes and training purposes. So when you get to your main website, you will have a dashboard with some basic items here on the top: bills, checks, service issues, reports, history, and notes. Again, on some cases, you'll be able to also access those through these key boxes further along on the home screen. So the first box are messages. Those tend to be seasonal, or if there's any important information that Alpha would like to share with our owners, that message will change. Here is an ownership box. This is if you are on the alumni board, and this will show you kind of an immediate balance to your home on the balance sheet. Next are notes. These are documents that I will send to you periodically that'll get loaded into your Owner Web Access, so that way you can have access to that 24/7. For example, your monthly financials, or if you request a specific report maybe on your AR or AP, I can send that to you, even though you will have access to those reports via this site, but it will show you some additional information. So you can just break this out. There's some filter features if you'd like by dates. You can go ahead and click the download. And in a moment, you will get, in this case, an age receivable report for your particular home. Back to the dashboard. Next are bills. Again, you can just break this out. You can filter if you'd like. Otherwise, it usually populates from the past year. It does take a few moments. Much like a checkbook, it lists the most recent bills that have been paid all the way to the oldest. It'll show whether it's been paid or if it's pending in terms of a check run that'll be happening on Wednesday. You can actually click on the line, and it will hyperlink you to some additional information. Breaks it down a little bit about the vendor, the terms, things to that nature. But what's really nice is that we have this little link called Avid Invoice. You can click on that, and it will hyperlink you to an actual copy of the invoice for that vendor. So you can really see, hey, what did my $171 go to? What was the actual costs, maybe labor, things to that nature, depending on the vendor. You'll see that with every vendor, even DTE or your electric, gas, whomever that might be at your particular home. Go back to the dashboard. Dashboard's your friend, takes you back to the home site. The checks, this is really just a check ledger, just like you'd have in your own checkbook. Again, with the most recent checks being paid, working to the oldest. Back to the dashboard. Service issues. If we do maintenance repairs for your house, you would have access to completed service work orders, giving you additional information on those items. Again, there's the filter feature if you so desire. Otherwise, you can click on the completed work order. It shows when things were open, when it was closed. It gives you some additional information about what the repairs were, what the resolution was, you know, what the number of hours or labor hours or materials, if there were materials purchased, and if there's any additional history potentially. You know, sometimes a work order might take a while depending on waiting on parts, maybe different vendors are involved, and you would see that in this particular setup. So this is really a nice feature to kind of drill down a little bit on the work orders. Also, the important issue number. That's a great way. If you have a question, you could email myself or your facility manager with that work order number, and they can maybe give you some additional information that's not necessarily shared in the work order. Go back to dashboard. So that's it on the big breakout boxes, but let's go through some of these other areas. So we went over bills, checks, and service issues. Again, just another place that you can hyperlink versus the boxes. But what we do have available are reports. So we've pre-selected some great reports that you have available to you 24/7 for your particular home. You have a balance sheet. Again, there's the filter features, otherwise hit run. I typically don't mess with the filters, but you can do collapse, uncollapse, things to that nature. So the report will run, make it a little bit larger here, and voila, you have a, oops, go back here a little bit, sorry. You have your balance sheet for your particular home. Let's go back to return reports. Next, check deposit listing. You got your, the range is 1 day. So let's go back a little bit further in this particular example. We'll go back to 01/01/2020 and run. Again, this is just a handy check ledger showing your deposits going in as well as any payments that have gone through. So just an old-fashioned type check ledger, so to speak, but yet in today's technology. Again, gives you a breakdown of the vendors. You can't hyperlink on here. That's where you have to use the bills section for the bills to kind of go deep dive a little bit more if you'd want to see, you know, hey, I paid $1,900 for K&P landscaping. What was that for? I don't recall that situation. You could go over here to the bills, search by that date, and you'll find out that K&P was your snow removal for the month of, in this case, month of January. You won't be able to break down on the ePay that those kinds of things are the deposits that come in from your house members. Go back to reports. Delinquency, basically your AR, who still owes money to the house. Run that report. We do have an example in here, a member. It shows what the dollar amount is and even shows what it was for. You'll have different examples. There could be damage fee, it could be rent, could be late fees, it could be food, various different charges depending on your home. Reports. Payables, any AP that you might owe. Again, we're going to just change this up a little bit and go back a little bit further. We'll go back a year. Which is good. In this particular case, this example, there aren't any AP or accounts payable. But if you would know the vendor, when it was due, the dollar amount. Hopefully your campus manager or myself have already communicated to you if there was anything that was really delinquent, and we would be addressing that accordingly. Click back to reports. Profit and loss. Again, we'll go back a little bit more. We're going to, let's Let's see here. We don't want to collapse. We want to have a little more of a breakout. Okay. So this just shows your income, what you brought in for this date period, followed by expenses, breaking it down on all the different general categories, general ledger accounts, and then finally what your net income is for that period of time. So definitely a great resource. Now this is an example where if you'd want some additional information, maybe you want a general ledger of your repairs and maintenance, or you want a general ledger of the cleaning expense, you could contact your campus manager or myself, and I can actually send you the entire general ledger, and it would get transported or imported into your OWA site that you would have a digital footprint, and that would be found in that notes section. And finally, rent roll analysis. This will be handy once your kids have all been moved into the homes. We'll show you a breakdown of the house members and what their rent would be for each for the year, as well as if there's any balance. And as well as security deposit is on here too, so you can see who has security deposits on hold at your home. This example has some security deposits because these folks are moving back into the same home. So we kind of keep those and then they're used again for the next year. Back to reports. So those are the key 6 reports that you'll have access to 24/7 to help give you a quick snapshot of your home. Along with the sign up, you will receive an owner web access owner manual that you will be able to, let me bring that up, here we go, that you'll be able to have a quick reference to the things I just mentioned, just as kind of a guide. Okay. Well, hopefully this has been some help and giving you some insight to the Owner Web Access, OWA. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me at bhorner@alphafraternitymgmt.com, and I'll be glad to address any questions or concerns that you might have. Thanks again for watching, and you have yourself a great day.